Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by Kolar Arms, America's competition shotgun, and is fueled by Fiocchi.
Welcome to the Dead Pair Podcast, coming in hot with everything you want to hear about sporting clays. With your hosts, Jason Rambo.
This is what I have to work with, everyone.
And Sean Alley.
Like I said, I was just thirsty.
Oh, boy.
Often imitated, but never duplicated. It's the Dead Pair Podcast. It's showtime.
Welcome back, everyone. What's up, Mr. Large and in charge?
Jason Rambo, just wading through life, buddy. How about yourself?
Doing much of the same. It's getting hot. Yeah, we came in hot, and it's getting hot. So, lots of things happening, lots of moving parts. Are you getting out and shooting, Sean, any at all?
Not too much yet. The weather's had taken a turn for the worse here. April's still not really, I know we think of April as spring here, but we had some cold spells here. It was just 28 degrees on my truck's thermometer this morning when I was driving in. So, it's going to be like 50, 51. And then I think after this weekend, it's going to start opening up again. So hopefully, we'll be done with the freezing cold temps and be able to move forward. But definitely got the grass mowed last weekend. So that was a first. But yeah, man, it's going good. And warmer weather's finally on the way here.
Don't take snow for an answer, Sean Alley.
I'm trying not to. I mean, come on. Let's keep fingers crossed I don't see that stuff again for at least another 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, hey, listen, we got a few tourney talks to get to. You want to do that real quick?
Yes, sir.
It's Tourney Talk. Brought to you by Score Chaser.
All right, guys, everybody's trying to really get ahead of the ball here. Blackjack Open at Blackjack Sporting Clays is now open. That's for January 23rd through the 25th, 2026. Again, 2026. Also 2026, the Seminole Cup is now open. That's going to be February 25th through March 1st. So both of those are open for next year. But again, if you guys want to go shoot these things, get on the ball, get registered quick.
Yep, absolutely. It's amazing how quick these tournaments fill up.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting bigger and bigger. I would like to see more of the small shoots, get a few more, attendances, I guess you could say. But yeah. The big shoots are getting bigger, and it seems like the small ones are getting smaller, and I hate seeing that for the clubs. I'd like to see people patronize their local clubs a little bit more.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a balancing act. I mean, the fun thing about going to a big shoot is there's so many people there, and obviously so many vendors there, and a lot more going on than, a typical smaller shoot. But again, you can save a lot of money if you're not traveling out of state to shoot something local that's still just as good as far as targets and stuff go. But yeah, definitely patronize your local clubs, or maybe the state across from you or up above you or whatever. You don't necessarily have to travel 1,000 miles to go have a good time shooting.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Ohio State shoot it's at the very end of July / beginning of August. We're going to have Mr. Sean Spindell come on here soon and talk about that. Lots of exciting things happening this year at the Ohio State shoot. And it's going to be in Hillendale, which is, as you know, Sean, a gorgeous piece of property.
Yes, it is.
But we are talking to the Divas tonight, female shooting group originally out of Texas, but I think they're going to surprise you where all they're at now. And then, of course, we're going to have Mr. Michael Hampton come on shortly afterwards, talk about some updates from the NSCA. Always great to hear from him. Guys and gals, if you haven't bought your ticket yet for that Kolar gun, tell you what, do yourself a favor. Any big shoot that you're going to where Kolar is present, get over and look at that gun. It is absolutely amazing, stunning piece of artwork. It really is. Might as well go ahead and buy yourself a ticket while you're there. They got a countertop display. You can hit the QR code, pay for it with your credit card online, or they'll have physical tickets if you have cash. So either way, get you a ticket, because it's going to make somebody really, really happy. Might as well be you, right, Sean Alley?
Heck yeah.
I just wish that we could buy a ticket.
I wish that I could. That's the only downside of this whole deal, is that neither one of us can walk away with that in case we wanted to win. That would be all bad. But
right.
But somebody out there is going to be a very, very lucky person, and my hat's off to whoever wins that gun.
Right. And of course, like we said before, a portion of the proceeds goes to support Kids and Clays, which benefits Ronald McDonald's House Charity, so it's for a good cause. Sean, we got a lot to talk about with the Divas. I don't want to waste too much more time, so let's get her on the phone and see what she has to say.
Sounds good, buddy.
The Dead Pair.
All right, everybody. We've got the pleasure of Mrs. Judy Rhodes on the phone tonight. How you doing tonight, Judy?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
And Judy, you are the founder of the Divas. Is that correct?
I am. I am. I'm so proud to be that.
Well, we ran into you guys last year for the first time at Nationals. Couple gals. We were in the Atlas booth, weren't we, Jay, when they popped by? We were in the Atlas booth, and a couple of your gals came in. They had is it leopard skin print? Leopard cheetah?
That is our signature color.
Okay. All right. So these ladies walked in with these leopard skin print shooting vests. You can't miss them from a mile away. Once we saw them, we just started noticing you guys all over the National Shooting Complex. So could not miss you guys out there. It was pretty cool, but had a good conversation with the ladies that were there. I'm sorry, I don't remember their names, but this is why this led to this call and this podcast, because we wanted to talk a little bit about your organization and what you do for the lady shooters out there.
Well, Judy, tell us a little bit about the inception of this. Like, how did this all start? Whose idea was it? And what was the reason that you wanted to start it?
Well, I was working with the Dallas Safari Club, and I was organizing all the women's events. And then I realized that we had lost 3 generations of shooting in our country because I'm a rancher's daughter, and I didn't know that you couldn't go out and just shoot something. And I've been shooting since I was 4 years old. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to let this happen on my watch. And everybody goes, that was 25 years ago, guys. And they go, oh, I don't know if a woman can make a difference. I said, I'm from Texas, and you sit back and watch.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
And so what year was that you started?
In 1999. And so what I did was I massed together 19 women to come and where I could tell them that we were going to start our own organization. And I had raised millions of dollars for the Dallas Opera. So I knew how to do everything right and for women. So when I looked out there, I thought, these are not just shooters and hunters and women that enjoy the outdoors. These are divas. And so when I said, we look like divas, and everybody just started chanting diva, diva, diva. And I went, okay, now that's the first of our name. What's the rest of it going to be?
So who came up with the leopard skin idea? Because I think that is priceless. That is so awesome. You did?
I did. And like 25 years ago, zebra was the color that everybody was wearing. And I thought, I'm not going to change my spots for anybody because I'm outspoken Texas girl, and let's keep going. And guess what? That color is now the new black.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
So, Judy, I understand you guys don't just specifically focus on shotguns. You have interest with the ladies through all kinds of disciplines, right?
Yes, we do. We started with shotguns, and we're having our clinic March the 29th, and it'll be our 26th clinic that we're hosting. And from that, we just always, for 3 years, we did shotgun. And then a lot of the women said, I want to learn how to shoot a handgun. And I thought, okay, we're shooting handguns. So we have handguns, shotguns, ARs, black powder, 22 rifles, knife slinging, axe throwing, dog training, BB guns, and slingshots at our clinics.
Jiminy Christmas.
Covering all the bases there, aren't they?
Well, we have women that want to do just different things, and that's why we have added all of this through the last 26 years.
That is awesome. All right,
Sean,
so my question go ahead, Jay, sorry.
I'm just going to say these are gals you just don't want to mess with.
Exactly. So let me ask you this. What is the average age or age group of women that come to your organization? Do you have an idea?
They all come for a different reason. We've had the youngest was 3 hours old, and the oldest was 93.
Okay, so all ages.
It's just all kind of the gamut where we've have a lot of women that we noticed that maybe they were turning 40 and they wanted to learn how to shoot a gun. And was their main thing of what they wanted to do. And we have a lot of women that after their children have gone to college, they realize they don't have any friends. So they wanted to do something in the outdoors. And a lot of them start with the shotguns, and then sometimes, that's the hardest discipline. You can start with a shotgun because you have to have peripheral vision and you're moving the gun all the time. And it's not just like point and shoot like you would do with a rifle or a handgun. So that takes just a little bit more of the discipline on our part. But it's just for different reasons. And we've also had for classes for concealed and carry. We just do a gamut of everything. And what we usually say is because we are the largest women's outdoor organization in the world, we're in all 50 states and 27 foreign countries. So when someone has an idea, we say, okay, we'll follow them, because sometimes without this many women, it's like herding cats anyway.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving that comment alone. Well, throughout this, I mean, obviously we're a sporting clays podcast, so we're a little biased for that discipline. How many sporting events would you guys say that you attend outside of your local home club?
Well, we don't really have a home club. We have, a lot of us are a member of the Dallas Gun Club. And then we have our clinic that's at Elm Fork Shooting Sports, which is a public park that we go to that hosts it. And so we go to Houston. We're all over the state. We go into Oklahoma. We're in Louisiana. We're in Colorado, New Mexico. We go to a lot of different ones, but the majority of our women do shoot sporting clays and shotguns.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Now, when we saw you guys last year, is that the first time that you guys came in mass to the Nationals, or have you been there before?
That was our 6th year.
6th year, okay.
And
awesome.
when we first started, pardon me?
I was going to say, that's kind of when I first noticed it. I mean, maybe there was just so many of you guys there last year, but once I met the gals at the Atlas booth, and then I saw their leopard skin shooting vest, it's like I couldn't go anywhere without seeing, half a dozen here and there.
Well, we've been there, and we're really proud of what we've done. Ann Morrow, which has designed shotguns, and myself, we're just like a freaking frack team where she comes in with one expertise and I come in with the other expertise. And when we started 6 years ago, we had like 25 women, and we offer this for free at Nationals for them just to come up and sign up. And we were sold out with 100 women last year, being our 6th year. And now if you go back and look, we're 2/3 full with the women signing up, as well as we offer their very first time to go through sporting clays of an actual event. And we had 137 there last year, and we were so excited to see. This is their very first time where they don't even know what to do or how to participate to introduce women to the shooting sports.
So do you guys have anybody that's supporting y'all, any sponsors or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, we do. We have a whole lot of sponsors from shotguns with Benella. We have Ruger. We're all out there like a cheap suit, and we're always looking for more, because the more money I have, it turns the big wheel, and we can all go and introduce more women. Because now it's even interesting, because I do a lot of fishing too, that 38% of the people that participate in fishing, they want to know more about the shooting sports.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Judy, let me ask you this. So when women come to you, and specifically like for rifle, pistol, shotgunning, is there like a common, I mean, I know you said that, some of them are getting, empty nesters, they're looking for something to do, or looking to gain a new set of friends, but is there any particular complaints or fears that they have when they come to you about why they didn't just go to the club and try to hook up with an instructor at a regular shooting club?
Well, that's what we shine the best on that, Sean, is because women teaching women is the very best, because we've noticed this over the years, and then especially I've been shooting since I was 4, that, a man will bring a big gun out there and say, oh, you just do this and you do that. But during our clinics, we show women how to stand, how to breathe, how to look, get your peripheral vision going. And women, listen to women a lot more than a man, because they've already got preconceived ideas of how a woman's supposed to shoot and say, oh, just hit it. But the difference, I can tell you this, is probably not really legit, but the difference is I'll tell some woman, imagine a school bus, give it a school bus lead. Well, a woman can do that, but where a man says 5 inches and we're going like, oh my gosh, I don't know what 5 inches looks like in the air.
Okay.
So, we just know how to do it. And we're also wonderful cheerleaders for each other when we come in. And that's the reason we're sold out on all of our events whenever we go somewhere, because we talk the language of women for even like holding a shotgun. We go, over the mountains and through the valleys of just trying to get it into the pocket. And women can identify with that.
That's
and
awesome.
if you were to say that, they wouldn't want you to say that.
That makes perfect sense. What are you? So you're self-instructed. Then obviously you don't have outside instructors. It's ladies within the club, right, or within the organization. I mean.
Yes, we're all NRA certified instructors. We're very proud of that, how many courses we take. And then we're all SROs and whatever you need, because we have some of our instructors at nationals as well as here in Dallas, or some of the top shotgun instructors in the United States, and only like 2 of them in Texas. And we have both of them on our teams. And we have a traveling shotgun team. It took me 12 years for industry to kind of, the good old boys, to say women can come in and we can teach women. And it only took like 6 years ago for them to believe that, yes, we can. And then to show them 6 years later, we're sold out.
That's awesome. Well, I know that you guys have a lot of fun because, again, we saw the ladies of Diva running around the nationals and looked like they were all having a ball. So I can see that's an easy sell for anybody that comes on board or comes to one of your events. So through the course of the year, are you guys putting on like your own tournaments and stuff, or do you typically just go out to another club, like if you're going to shoot an event like the Nationals?
Well, I'm going to say this, because we're all alpha dogs and we don't do any competition within ourselves, because then we're out for blood. And but women are, I will cut off my arm to hold it out 3 more inches to get that first place. But then I'm wondering, what am I going to do and hold the trophy with the other arm? We're just that competitive. So we don't do anything within our own organization, but we really encourage women to go to the nationals. And we do a lot of fundraisers, and we attend a lot of the shooting sports fundraisers here, like the Texas Motor Speedway or the Jim Shockey shoots, or other shoots besides and at clubs too. So we've had some women that didn't even know how to hold a shotgun, and now they're national trap shooters and a part of the All-Americans. So it's amazing once they find that and they really enjoy it. And I think one of the strangest things I've found that doing all of this is women said they love the smell of gunpowder. And I went, oh my God, Chanel, yes, but I never did think that they would enjoy that smell of gunpowder.
That is great. I love it.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Well, there you go, Sean. I'm going to have to start coming home from the tournament smelling like gunpowder. Maybe the wife would give me a hug.
Ode de Pyrex or Ode
Yeah.
de gunpowder.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, well, Judy, so let me ask you this. I know you said you're all over the country and all over the world. Do you find typically, do you guys travel like to other states? I mean, Jason and I, just for instance, we'll travel a lot of the circuits. Like he was just down at the Jack Links at Okeechobee. A lot of times, since I'm from Ohio, I'll fly down there to get away from this terrible winter we have up here. Do you see a lot of the gals, traveling across the state lines to go to different competitions, or are they kind of staying closer to home?
Well, I can only speak for Texas in some of the ways. We go all over to the 5 states, and then we have women in Florida, they're traveling around in their area. But one thing that I really promote is we have 10 women on our team, and we call them our shotgun team. And so that's when we go in, that if somebody needed us to come to a different state or a different shoot, and they wanted us to teach women on the very beginning how they can become involved in the shooting sports. And that's what we do, is take them from very basic beginners, so they're not afraid and they want to participate. So that's what I think we have found our niche on doing this over all the many years. And then if some woman wants to go out and participate, and we put teams together all over Texas to participate, from Operation Game Theft, people to the operas or whatever, wherever they're trying to raise money, we will do that. But the team members have to pay for that. But we've noticed that women want to learn how to shoot, and it's not the good old boys anymore that used to be, because, I do a lot of hunting. Before COVID, I was hunting 250 days a year somewhere in the world.
Wow.
That's a lot of field time. My goodness.
Yes.
And one of my best things that a friend of mine from Fresno, California, invited me to go sandhill crane hunting, which they called that the ribeye in the sky. And there were 7 guys from Ohio. And I was walking in with 3 guys. And then one of the guys in the blind goes, "Oh my God, it's a girl." And so I didn't say anything, but because he didn't know me from Adam's house cat or whatever. So we got in the blind and 2 sandhill cranes came over and I shot both of them. And I looked over there and I said, "Are y'all going to shoot today?"
That's funny.
And it was great because they didn't know, because then they realized the game was on. And then, I mean, it's really amazing because they don't think women, I hate to say that, but even like 25 years later, it's still the stigma of women being in the outdoors. And a lot of men go, "Please don't do that and teach my wife because it's going to cost me double."
Oh, I've heard that several times in sporting clays. I had a guy walk up and say, "Hey, thanks for getting me involved. You cost me $50,000 a year." And I chuckled, and he says, "Oh no, it gets worse. My wife started listening to your podcast. Now it's $100,000 a year." And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, But so let me ask you this: if a gal is listening to this and she wants to get involved, how does she find your organization? How does she get involved?
Well, she can go to our website, which is divawow.org. And we're all nonprofit. What makes our organization really different from everybody and very unique is we're all volunteers, because a lot of people have bought in on my vision, which our motto is we introduce women to the outdoors and beyond, is that none of us get paid. I don't get paid. It's sort of like my legacy of leaving behind to make sure that everybody that wants to be involved in the outdoors, all they have to do is just reach out, and we're there to grab their hands and embrace them and say, "Come follow us. We know where the road is, and we know how to get through the rivers and the streams."
Okay, and then to clarify, so I know the home base is based in Texas. Is it Dallas, I'm assuming?
That's our international headquarters, is in Dallas, because that's where I live.
But if another lady shooter was, say, Oklahoma or Minnesota, you have other clubs or groups out there in different states that they can look into?
Yes, okay. We do. And we can hook them up or even help get them started into the shooting. And I'm very proud because this year I designed a shotgun, and I wanted to show that to you when we meet up at Nationals, and it's a Leopard shotgun.
Oh, wow.
The barrels, and it was dipped right in turkey with the wonderful Turkish walnut. And we've already sold out, of our very first time of all the, everybody goes, "Oh my gosh, I want a Leopard gun." And when we had 40 women that we did patterning our shotguns, and we brought in other really expensive guns, and I'm bragging right now, of course, I'm from Texas, that and each one of them shot on the bullseye, and they didn't shoot high or low or left or right when they were out patterning their shotgun. They were right on the bullseye.
Well, Jason, I can't wait to see this, man. Yeah, leopard print shotgun. They've already got leopard print shooting vests. Some of them were wearing leopard print pants and shirts. I mean, it's going to be like a herd of leopards out there on the shooting course.
I'm telling you. So what's the gun manufacturer?
It's Seracam.
Okay.
And you'll be known for nationally where Benelli and Beretta, where their guns are made in the same factory.
Oh, okay, cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you're going to have to put up a picture on Facebook or something when we post this podcast and let everybody see that thing.
Okay. I want you to, because, they're for sale. And then the best part about it, they're priced for women.
That's awesome.
Well, because I want everybody to have one. And when you see all of this, you can do a semi-automatic or you can do an over and under. But, we have to worry about, kids in private school. We have to worry about dance. We have to worry about all the different kind of tennis shoes and footwear that you have to go to the next activities. And guess whose budget that comes out of? Ours.
Never enough money when you're trying to have fun, right?
No.
Right.
Well, okay, so let's cover this. If you're going to, let's see, if you're a lady shooter, do they typically come with like one discipline in mind, or do they even know, like, are they interested? Do they come to you and say, "Look, I want to learn how to shoot a pistol," or do they just want to say, "I want to learn how to shoot a gun"? Period. Or what's the most basic question when a new lady joins your organization?
Well, I think it really depends on the temperature of and the climate of our country. Whereas before we always said Obama was the best of the shooting guns that we had to get out there and buy one. And a lot of women are looking now since, here in Texas, we're talking about our open borders. Women want to have home defense and they want to learn how to shoot a handgun. So we're working with women on that because a lot of women will go out and buy a handgun and then they don't even know how to make it fit their hand, and they don't even know how to, load a magazine, nor do they know, what a different kind of gun that they really need. They just go in there and buy a gun, and then that's why we were kind of afraid. And we have leagues, and we were the first organization to ever start leagues with handguns to show women, and they come in, and we're going on 15 years of leagues all over the country that women go in and then they practice and then they become instructors and, then they become mentors too. So we just don't stop with beginning to learn how to shoot. We carry the message to go on, so to introduce other women too.
Well, Judy, is there anything else we're missing? Anything you want anybody to know about the Divas that we haven't covered?
Well, what we're considered a sisterhood, an outdoor sisterhood. And so we have claimed that because we're the best. Here's what we do when we get together. I have 2 rules that you can say. You can't talk about your own husband or children, but everybody else is fair game. So, we're just that kind of a close-knit group. And when you see each other, that we're ready to, give that other person their kudos that they deserve. And when something's wonderful going on, we want the world to know about it. Because I just say it like, when I say 25 years, when I first went to the SHOT Show, they wouldn't even the manufacturers wouldn't even let me breathe their air. And I would try to go up, but I want to introduce women. They go, yeah, right, little girl, keep on going. And then I guess about 15 years ago, it was so wonderful because we had like 16, everybody in leopard and all, duded up. And then they go, and they started chanting Divas and recognizing that women were their next audience and who they were going to be selling to. And one of the things that I told them, they said, oh, we have a pink gun when they first started that. And I said, I burned a bra so I wouldn't have to wear pink. So don't be pandering to me. So that's where leopard comes in.
You can't make this up, Jason.
No,
you can't make this up.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just like us because we have a saying in our group of friends when we shoot. It's like, it's not if we're going to make fun of you, it's when.
Exactly.
Sounds like you guys are having a good time doing it too. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, but you know that if you're not having a good time, you're going to go find something else you want to be involved in. And plus, what we try to do with women is we identify our weakest link and we make them a leader, where some women that are chairing our clinics or they're chairing a league or whatever, and they said, I'm not a good speaker. And I said, you know what, we're going to make you the best speaker. And then all of a sudden we just helped develop that into a person when that was really their best suit that they had, but they didn't know they had it within them.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, as we wrap this up, Judy, let me ask you this. If we have a lady listening to the program right now and you wanted to give her a word of advice about, get off the fence and get involved, what would you tell her?
Just reach out and there's someone there to hold your hand and bring you in the fold, and don't be afraid. It doesn't matter where, if you look like the Kardashians or you look, like Lizzo, you know what I mean? We embrace all of the women that come in, and all you have to have is a right attitude that you want to learn and you want to participate, because we know that women listen and we are the next one, because if a woman doesn't want a gun in the home, guess what? You're not going to have one in your home. That's
very true. Very true. Well, Jason, anything else from you, buddy?
No, I don't think so. I've had my I've been rendered speechless several times in this conversation. So,
we have been educated. I will say that.
Yes,
we have been educated.
Yes, we have been educated. So,
well, Jason, don't feel special. You're not the first man.
Well, Judy, you've been awesome, dear. We really have had a good time having you on here. Can't wait to hopefully bump into you maybe down at the Nationals this year or somewhere else. And we wish you guys the very best of luck moving forward.
Well, if you're in Dallas, you just come on and we'll go out the gun club and we'll put it to the test and show you what, who's the winner.
Hey, I'm all about it. Don't threaten me with a good time. It sounds like fun.
Yeah,
I know. Competition is competition.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, dear. You have a great night.
Enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Hey everyone. Each and every week you hear Sean and I brag about our sponsors. And it's not because they sponsor the show. It's because of their products and the unmatched customer support behind each and every single one of those products. We hope you're taking the time to investigate for yourself, try the products out, and see why we love them so much. Hey Toby Tomplay, you want to remind everyone who we're talking about?
I'd love to, Jason. Kolar Arms, America's competition shotgun. Fiocchi USA. Here at the Dead Pair, we're fueled by Fiocchi. Ranger Performance Eyewear. See it further, see it faster, see it clearer with Ranger. Atlas Traps, America's finest clay target equipment. Rhino Chokes. For deadly patterns and knockdown power, choose Rhino. Long Range, the industry standard for trap release and target management systems. Taconic Distillery. After the tournament is over, it's time for one more shot with Taconic Distillery. Score Chaser, your shoots simplified. Clay Range Design Works, your one-stop shop for all your clay target needs. And now, back to the show.
All right. Joining us again this month for the NSCA update, Mr. Michael Hampton Jr. How are you, sir?
Good, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing great, Michael. How are things in Texas?
It's starting to get warm and starting to get real busy, which is a good thing for the shooting world.
Heck yes. Heck yes.
Yeah, speaking of shooting world, you've got some, I think it was just released here recently, the state shoot grants, correct?
Yes. Yeah. This year we offered 15 states got awarded $2,000 grants for their state shoots. How we kind of do that is we've got a bid form where these states submit. We review them, kind of what they're doing with the money, how they're going to spend it, engagement of first time shooters or engagement of youth or ladies, and how they're going to spend the money that has most impactful to not just that shoot that year, but the shoot in that state year long. So we're always excited about that. The amount of clubs submitting grants has increased, which is exciting. That means people are knowing about it. They're utilizing it, and we're seeing some great results from our state shoots.
That's awesome. And Michael, you've also got some women's shooting grants that are coming up, right?
Yes. Next week, we're going to be awarding those. We offer, and we started this, the EC wanted to start engaging more of these women organization, women's clubs, and clubs that are doing stuff for women to grant them some money to help them kick the program off, whether it is to pay for ammo, pay for targets at the club, giving them some awards or something like that. We also try to make sure all these programs we give our CLM, our free memberships to those ladies to try to keep them involved after they get done with these classes and clinics. So we give somewhere between $500 to $2,500 depending on the need of each of the bids that we get. So these grants were started about 2 years ago, and they're doing well. It's always good to see more people applying. That means that there's more clubs and programs out there trying to promote these good causes.
That's awesome, as Jason would say.
Well, an always hot topic, I don't care what time of the year it is or what's going on, is Master and Double A class. So you got some updates on some rules for that, right?
Yes. This year, as everyone knows, we increased some of the punches or decreased some of the punches depending on the classes that we were doing to try to help with moving people, getting the people to move in class a little bit easier or slow them down from moving up not too fast. Depending on the part of the country that you're in, really kind of helps drive that. So it's a hard balance, If you live in Texas or in the Southeast or, there's lots of tournaments always going on, and they're big tournaments. And then you might have some people that are out west, northwest, that are a little more rural, that they don't have as many shooters. So they sometimes have a hard time moving up in class. So we looked at, this time we looked more and focused on our master and double A class at our winter meeting. And the EC has decided that we'll be sending out to the national delegates next month in May to vote on increasing master class by 5 punches. So now you'll need 25 to move up to master class and 4 more in double A, which will now make a total of 18. what we're trying to do is keep people to, once they kind of get into those top two we looked at, they move up. And with our shoots being bigger, our big shoots being bigger, and more events, there's more opportunity to get punches. And some people, as you know, they bump up to a class that they're no longer competitive and they got into it too fast. So what we're trying to do is trying to slow down that move into master class and move into double A, which I think will help those that feel like when they bump up to those classes, they feel like, oh my gosh, I'm here. I've got to wait my 1,000 target review before I can get bumped down because I'm not
That's me.
competitive enough.
That's
This
me.
will kind of help slow that down. Yeah, I figured, Jason, you're going to be happy about that. It'll slow you
Yes.
down on possibly bumping back up.
Yeah.
But so the national delegates, we're going to be seeing that. That's going to be a rule change if passes for 2026.
Okay.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I know I went to 2 shoots and went from double A right back to masters. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I was just getting competitive again.
Yeah.
Right.
So Michael, are there, and you don't have to dive into them, I'm just curious, are there any other proposed rule changes that you guys are going to be reviewing?
We do have our rules committee. Sammy McFadden, who is our first vice chairman, he is leading some other EC members that are basically reviewing our rule book as we speak,
Okay.
trying to, making sure that our rules are up to date, they're fresh, there's things that are not outdated, and also using it as a chance to some areas that might need to be clarified to
Yeah.
clarify that. So that committee is working. They've had a couple of different meetings. They're doing it independently and then kind of combining it together. So we're kind of excited about what might come about from that. But then once all of these kind of ideas get fleshed out, then it'll go through the EC, and then the EC agrees with the Brightm. Then we'll send them out to our national delegates to vote to approve. But most of all of these will happen for 2026. But they are looking at the book from cover to cover, making sure that we're addressing anything that needs to be addressed.
Good deal.
Excellent.
Well, changing gears a little bit, Michael, by the time this podcast comes out, the U.S. Open will be in full swing. And this is going to be the first time that we're going to see the pro class outside of nationals. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, yes, we're looking forward to see how that all plays out. We know how it works at nationals, but nationals also has 2,300 competitors. So I mean, this U.S. Open is going to be a monster too. But it'll be great to see that we're getting to pull that that top echelon of high shooter, high competitive shooter out of masterclass, and giving that second tier of masterclass opportunities to win at a large event. And this, remember that this pro class is for all 12 gauge events that are 100 birds. So this is going to give a lot of opportunities for a prelim or for a fit task or for a super sporting event 5 stand, for there to be multiple um, opportunities for new masters to win, and these pro shooters also to win something and be um, they're not going to lose out on any of the funds that they had eligible for to win from return to class or money in class. That's all going to be the same for both pro and master. We're just looking to see how it drives hopefully some of these other master shooters to show up, compete, and have a good time too. And we'll see. And then we're going to roll in right into our regionals with that same program.
Yeah, so basically it's regionals, the U.S. Open, and the nationals. That's where the pro class is going to be seen for the first time this year outside of nationals.
That is correct. Yep.
Gotcha. That's awesome. You know what? We forgot something, Jay. I was going to mention when we were talking about the state shoot grants and women's shooting grants, there was also a bunch of NSCA youth scholarship winners. Michael, what's going on with those?
We had, we're excited. The association gives annually four $5,000 scholarships to our NS senior that's going off to school next year, whether it's a 4-year university, a 2-year, a trade school, different ways to help give back to these kids and that have been shooting our sport, that have been members. Their parents have been hauling them all around the country to shoot and have a good time and help them. Try to knock a little bit off of that college tuition bill. As we all know, that's quite high. And this year we had 60 applicants, and which was up over last year and continues to grow. And we had our winners were Edward Barrera out of Texas, Chase Bergner out of Georgia, Connor Daniels out of Georgia, and Kayla Wilgus out of Washington. So we had some great kids. I mean, it was not easy to pick. Like I said, we vet these through staff members. We also get our EC chairman to look at these things. So we kind of go through it and make sure that everybody's comfortable with them. But like I said, there is a lot of great kids out there shooting our sport and looking to doing great things.
Yeah, we get to witness that firsthand here in Ohio with the NSCA Nationals at the Cardinal Center. Boy, that's a lot of kids over there when that event takes place.
Oh, I ain't kidding you. It's looks like a 10-fold Chuck E. Cheese over there. So
yeah, it's really showing how that's forward and what SCTP is doing with their partnership with ACUI. We've got SCTP taking those kids from elementary, middle to high school, then handing them off to the ACUI people that does it in collegiate level, and that just all benefits our organization, our clubs, our members, and the industry. Huge thing.
Heck yes.
yeah, I just hope we can figure out a way to retain them. I mean, I know it's hard. They go off to college, and then that's usually when we lose them shortly after college anyway, even if they shoot collegiate. So, but Michael, if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be some rule book updates as well, right?
Yeah. We're trying to take everything and show those rule books of making sure that comments we get from our national delegates, lots of different questions periodically about, hey, can you clarify this? Or how do we interpret this? And every time we get those, we go to the EC and we make sure that they're all squared away. So this is, like I said, Sammy and his team are going to review all of those and give us a list and what we need to add, and then send that off to our delegates for vote.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, Michael, thank you as always. Sincerely appreciate it. Appreciate the time. Is there anything else you wanted to cover this month, or are we still working on things for next month?
Well, I'd like to remind everybody out there, our social media is growing. If you're not signed up for Instagram or Facebook for the NSCA, please do so. Kaylee Lawson has been putting out a lot of great information that we're driving a lot there. Nikki Bowers uses that to make sure that people know what's going on in the NSCA world. So stay on top of your social media. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook because that's where the most up-to-date, quickest info gets posted.
Yeah, and remember, guys, if you want a shortcut, if you're already following the Dead Pair, we've got the NSCA tagged in all of our podcast posts, so real easy to find them. Of course, their link is on our website as well. So yeah, I mean, take advantage of it. I mean, the NSCA is your governing body, and there's a lot of great information, and probably more so, Michael, I would say more so than what people realize.
Yeah, I mean the social media. I mean, they find out so much, and we're starting to find out that that's the best way for us to get that recreational world to know more about us, because we got instructors and shooters that are doing such great work and putting stuff out there, and our industry is putting a lot of good stuff out there about the sport. We get clubs that are starting to do some stuff about their clubs. And all of that just benefits everybody. I mean, we all win when people do that and post it out there, and then they share it with others and that kind of stuff. Because while we think we're big at just under 40,000 members, we've nothing compared to what that recreational world is out there that we could be if everybody could reach out and grab a couple of those people and bring them out to an event. We could really explode and just be something really good, something really special.
Well, that's what we keep harping on day in and day out here on the Dead Pair. We try to get people out there with a gun in their hand, introduce them to the sport. That's our whole mantra, right, Jason?
Yeah, exactly. And it seems to be working. I mean, we're constantly hearing from people that have taken, anywhere from 1 to 6 people at a time, new shooters out. And I hear from everybody, they got the bug. They're out buying guns. They're out buying ammo. They're getting registered. So that's what we want to hear. That's our whole message. And as long as long as we can keep having an influence and growing the sport, it's what we're going to keep trying to do week in and week out.
Yes, and we definitely appreciate what you guys continue to do to enhance this sport and giving us an opportunity to get the word out about what's going on at NSCA headquarters.
Well, it's been our pleasure to have you on again, Michael. Can't wait to can't wait and looking forward to the next time we get to see you next month. But, until then, take care, try to keep everything going, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Sound good, guys. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
The Dead Pair.
Well, Sean, the Divas, Michael Hampton, NSCA update, kind of a jam-packed episode.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Divas is a second group of lady shooters that we've had on here, and kind of wanted to emphasize that the ladies are coming on really strong in this sport. It's good to see them out there. I think there is a definite need for the ladies to kind of group together to feel comfortable, and that might be the inroad that is needed for new lady shooters to feel a little bit more comfortable, maybe not go out there and do it with the good old boys like we do for the most part. But, both those organizations, the Honeybells and the Divas, really big advocates for getting ladies into clay shooting. And we, definitely tip our hats off to both of them. And of course, with the Divas, they're doing more than just clay shooting. They're doing rifle, pistol, archery, slingshots, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing what those ladies are doing. And that's awesome, man. I mean, I think having the ladies out there doing all this stuff is great for the sport, great for them. And of course, look forward to see them again here soon this year.
Yeah, and it blows me away how big they've gotten. I mean, they're worldwide now, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. And they got those really cool vests. I mean, you cannot miss them if you see them out there at a tournament. Those leopard skin vests are something else.
Yeah, they're like, I guess if you're leopard hunting, that's the camouflage you'd want, right?
I guess. You'd look good in one of those, Jay.
No, sorry. My wife would be all about it. She loves anything leopard print, so.
Oh, really? Okay, there you go.
And it was great hearing from Michael Hampton. We love getting his updates every month, and they enjoy coming on here, and it's kind of been a blessing, really, because people feel more connected now to the NSCA instead of just like some mothership they never see or hear from, right?
Right, definitely.
But, go ahead, Sean. You were about to say something.
Well, I was just going to remind everybody, hey, guys, we appreciate you listening to the show and supporting the show. And if you would like to support the show a little bit more, remember, both Taconic Distilleries and RE Ranger are offering a generous discount, 10% discount on both of those companies. Anything you purchase off their website, that's Dead Pair 10, DEADPAIR, and the number is 10. Dead Pair 10 will get you 10% on your checkout from an order from both Taconic and RE Ranger. So don't forget that.
Yeah, no spaces in that too, by the way. It's all one ran together word and numbers.
Absolutely.
But Sean, I'm going to steal it from you. Every week we tell everybody take someone new shooting, take them to a tournament, and we are starting to see people post pictures now and tell stories of this on our Dead Pair Public group page on Facebook.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. But I did have a couple people reach out and say, hey, look, I took someone, but I don't have a Facebook account. I get it. Have your kid do it or your wife do it or somebody. We just love hearing those stories. And, maybe if I get permission from these people, I'll take their pictures and I'll make the post for them.
Yeah, send us an email with the pics. I mean, we'd be happy to do that for you.
Right. But both of those posts recently were with groups of people. They just didn't take one person. They took a group of people and said they're all hooked now. And that's awesome. Sorry, I used the word too much, but that is awesome. And it's, that's what we're trying to do. That's our message. It's the Dead Pair Challenge. Take someone new shooting once a month. This last guy that posted, he's got 6 months worth wrapped up in one shoot. So, good on you. We appreciate you doing that very much so.
Heck yes.
Well, Sean, this has been a great episode, man. Lots of information from lots of people. And, man, I look forward to doing it again next week. Actually, no, I take that back. We forgot to announce this at the beginning of the show. We will not have a show next week. Next week,
Yes.
We will be off because of the U.S. Open, but we'll be back the following week with the first part of a 3-part series. This is from novice to masterclass series that we're doing. We've got some special guests coming on each episode. Sean and I us two numbnuts are not the experts, so we got the experts to come on and speak. And,
right on.
Looking forward to this. This is going to be a great series that I think everybody's going to get a lot of information out of.
I hope so. Yes, I believe so too.
Well, Sean Alley, it's been real. It's been fun. But until next week, my friend.
Can't wait to see y'all back here on the Dead Pair Podcast.
We'll see you next time on the Dead Pair Podcast.
The Dead Pair Podcast is brought to you by Kolar Arms, the mark of performance, and is fueled by Fiocchi USA. The Dead Pair theme song was written, arranged, and produced by Toby Tomplay. Special thanks to the following sponsors: Atlas Traps, Ranger Performance Eyewear, Rhino Chokes, Long Range LLC, Taconic Distillery, Score Chaser, and Clay Range Design Works.